Tucked away in the middle of Bay Lake at Walt Disney World lies an island that time and Disney forgot. Once home to exotic animals, lush jungle trails, and educational exhibits, Discovery Island was Disney's original wildlife attraction. But today, it sits abandoned, decaying in plain sight. Why did Disney shut down this once thriving tropical adventure? And why has it remained untouched for over 2 decades? Let's take a deep dive into the rise and quiet disappearance of Discovery Island. Before Animal Kingdom, before Expedition Everest, before the world was introduced to the wonders of Pandora and the thrill of Kilimanjaro safaris, there was a different kind of adventure waiting in the heart of Walt Disney World. This was a time when the idea of blending nature, wildlife, and Disney magic was still in infancy. A bold experiment that would pave the way for future innovations in theme park experiences. Before Pandora lit up Walt Disney World with bioluminescent brilliance, there was Discovery Island, nestled in the middle of Bay Lake. This secluded island was a hidden gem, often overlooked by crowds flocking to the more famous attractions. Yet for those who made the journey, Discovery Island offered something truly unique. A tranquil oasis where the wonders of the natural world took center stage. Opening in 1974 as Treasure Island, this 11.5-acre piece of land was rebranded 2 years into Discovery Island, a zoology park filled with flamingos, tortoises, parrots, monkeys, and even bald eagles. The island was alive with the sounds of exotic birds and the rustle of animals in the underbrush, creating an immersive experience unlike anything else at Disney World at the time. It was a place where guests could step into a living, breathing world of wildlife, far removed from the hustle and bustle of the theme parks. It was a peaceful escape from the chaos of Magic Kingdom, reached only by boat. The journey itself was part of the adventure, as guests boarded ferries and glided across the shimmering waters of Bay Lake, leaving behind the crowds and noise. As the island came into view, anticipation would build, promising a day of exploration and discovery in a setting that felt worlds away from the rest of the resort. Here, guests could explore winding nature trails, observe endangered animals, and learn about conservation. The island was designed to inspire curiosity and respect for natural world, with educational exhibits and interactive displays that encourage visitors of all ages to connect with wildlife. Whether you were a bird watcher, an animal lover, or simply seeking a quiet retreat, Discovery Island offered a rare opportunity to slow down and appreciate the beauty of nature. In fact, Discovery Island became one of the first places in the United States to breed the rare and endangered Bali Mina bird successfully. This achievement was a testament to the dedication and expertise of the island staff, who worked tirelessly to create a safe haven for some of the world's most vulnerable species. The success of the breeding program brought national attention to the island and highlighted Disney's commitment to wildlife conservation long before it became a central theme in the company's parks. It wasn't just a tourist attraction, it was a passion project, and an important one at that. Discovery Island stood as a symbol of Disney's early efforts to blend entertainment with education and environmental stewardship. The legacy of Discovery Island lives on, not just in the memories of those who visited, but in the conservation initiatives and immersive animal experiences that continue to shape Disney parks today. But as the 90s rolled in, cracks began to form. Discovery Island, once a hidden gem in the heart of Bay Lake, started to show its age. The paint faded, the walkways cracked, and the crowds that once filled its trails began to thin. The world outside was changing fast, and Disney was changing with it. Disney was expanding rapidly. More parks, more resorts, more themed experiences. The company was pouring resources into ambitious new projects, each one bigger and more spectacular than the last. The focus shifted to innovation, technology, and creating unforgettable adventures that would draw millions from around the globe. The quiet charm of Discovery Island just didn't fit into the company's bigger, bolder vision. Its peaceful trails and intimate animal encounters, once a novelty, now seemed quaint compared to the dazzling spectacles rising elsewhere on Disney's property. Then came the tipping point. In 1998, Disney opened Animal Kingdom, a sprawling 500-acre wildlife theme park. It was a game changer, a park that redefined what animal attractions could be, blending conservation, entertainment, and storytelling on a scale never seen before. It offered everything Discovery Island had, and so much more. Animal Kingdom boasted lush habitats, exotic animals from around the world, and immersive lands that transported guests to Africa, Asia, and beyond. The old island's modest bird enclosures and reptile houses simply couldn't compete. Why take a boat to a tiny island to see birds when you could ride a safari truck through the African savanna? Animal Kingdom's attractions were not only grander, but also easier to access with no need for a ferry ride or a day trip across the lake. Animal Kingdom's immersive environments, thrill rides, and large-scale animal exhibits pulled visitors away in droves. Families flocked to the new park, eager for adventure, excitement, and the promise of something truly extraordinary. The once busy walkways grew silent, and the island's unique magic faded into memory. For many, it was as if Discovery Island had simply vanished from the map. The cost of running an animal park, especially one requiring boats to access, remained sky high. Every day, staff had to ferry supplies, food, and guests across the water, adding layers of complexity and expense that other parks didn't face. Maintaining animal habitats, medical care, landscaping, and staffing wasn't cheap. The island's animals still needed expert care, and the lush grounds required constant upkeep even as visitor numbers dwindled. And with so few visitors, Disney was bleeding money. The financial losses mounted, and the writing was on the wall. Discovery Island's era was coming to a quiet, inevitable end. So in April 1999, Disney quietly closed the gates to Discovery Island for good. There was no massive farewell, no final parade, no nostalgic commercials, just a single small sign at the dock. Discovery Island is closed to guests. Animals were relocated to Animal Kingdom or other accredited facilities, and staff were resigned or let go. And since then, the island has sat, completely abandoned. Here's the strange part: Disney never repurposed the island. Despite their reputation for re-innovation and constant change, Discovery Island was left to the elements. It's almost as if time stopped the day the gates closed. While other Disney attractions have been demolished, rebuilt, or transformed into something new, this island was simply abandoned, frozen in a strange limbo. Unlike attractions that get torn down or replaced, Discovery Island was simply left behind. Nature took over. Buildings decayed. Vines crept across the walkways. The once carefully manicured gardens are now wild jungles, and the cheerful paint on the buildings has faded and peeled away. The island is now a haunting blend of man-made structures and untamed wilderness, a place where the line between theme park and nature preserve has completely blurred. Signs still hang in place, their messages now cryptic and faded, hinting at a time when the island was alive with visitors. These relics are like ghostly reminders of the past, standing watch over empty paths and silent buildings. Even old food trays were spotted during illegal exploration attempts. It's as if the last guest just walked away, leaving everything behind. Plates, utensils, and even paperwork have been found, frozen in time, giving the place an eerie, post-apocalyptic feel. But why leave it like this? Why would a company as powerful and resourceful as Disney allow an entire island to sit untouched for decades? Some say it's too expensive to demolish. The cost of tearing down the old structures, removing debris, and restoring the land could be astronomical, especially given the island's remote location and environmental restrictions. It's not as simple as bulldozing a building on the mainland. Others believe Disney sees it as a potential future project, just not a priority. Maybe one day the company will find a new use for the island, but for now, it sits in limbo, waiting for its next chapter. There are rumors of new concepts and blueprints, but nothing has ever come to fruition. And of course, there's the possibility that it's cheaper and honestly safer to do nothing at all. By leaving it alone, Disney avoids the risks and liabilities that come with demolition and redevelopment. After all, the island is invisible from any of the main parks. It's tucked away, out of sight, and out of mind for most guests. Unless you know exactly where to look, you'd never even realize it was there. It's not interrupting the magic. The laughter, excitement, and the wonders of Disney World continue just as they always have, with no hint of abandoned island nearby. But to those who know it's there, it feels eerie. There's a sense of mystery, a feeling that something has been left unresolved. The island is a place of secrets, a hidden chapter in the Disney story. Like a forgotten chapter in Disney history that's been left on pause, Discovery Island remains a silent witness to the past, waiting perhaps for someone to finally turn the page. Over the years, Discovery Island has become the stuff of legend, fueled by urban explorers and internet rumors. In 2009, a group of explorers uploaded photos of the island's decaying structures. Graffiti-covered walls, moldy interiors, overgrown paths. It looked like something straight out of The Last of Us. Disney surprisingly wasn't thrilled. They've since cracked down on trespassing, and security around the area has tightened. But the island's mystique only grew. Some say it's haunted. Others speculate on hidden Disney experiments or secret storage facilities. But honestly, the reality is likely much simpler. It was just a project that didn't survive the company's evolution. In many ways, Discovery Island represents a different era of Disney. One focused on education, exploration, and quiet immersion. Rather than spectacle and thrills, it wasn't a failure. It just didn't evolve with the times. Today, while millions flock to Pandora or ride through Kilimanjaro safaris, few realize that the foundation for Animal Kingdom was laid years earlier, on a little island in Bay Lake. And though Discovery Island may be abandoned, its legacy still echoes in the wild heart of Disney. If you enjoyed this deep dive into forgotten Disney history, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories.